Have you ever had a moment that completely changed your life? This is the story of how a casual joke turned into a life-altering experience for both a struggling single father and a powerful CEO. By the end of this incredible journey, you'll understand why sometimes the most meaningful connections happen in the most unexpected ways. If this story touches your heart, please consider liking this video and subscribing to our channel for more inspiring real-life stories that remind us of the power of human connection. Marcus Jenkins wiped the sweat from his brow as he finished mopping the executive floor of Horizon Enterprises. It was nearly midnight, and his feet ached from the 12-hour shift. At 34, this wasn't where he had imagined his life would be, working as a night cleaner while struggling to raise his 8-year-old daughter Lily on his own. But life had thrown him curveballs, and after his wife's death 3 years ago, he'd taken whatever work he could find to keep a roof over their heads. The executive offices were usually empty at this hour, which was why Marcus was startled when the door to the CEO's office swung open. Eliza Montgomery, the 38-year-old CEO of Horizon Enterprises, emerged with an armful of files. Known for her sharp business acumen and intimidating presence, she rarely interacted with the cleaning staff. "Oh, I didn't realize anyone was still here," she said, momentarily surprised. "Just finishing up, Ms. Montgomery," Marcus replied, quickly moving his cleaning cart aside. Eliza nodded, then paused, noticing the small framed photo clipped to Marcus's cart, a picture of a smiling little girl with pigtails and a missing front tooth. "Your daughter?" she asked unexpectedly. Marcus's face softened. "Yes, that's Lily. She's 8. Something in Eliza's expression changed. "She has a beautiful smile." "Thank you. She's the reason I keep going," Marcus said, surprised by the personal exchange. Eliza seemed to hesitate before continuing to her car, but this brief interaction marked the beginning of something neither of them could have anticipated. Over the next few weeks, Eliza would occasionally work late, and she and Marcus developed an unlikely rapport. Their conversations were brief but gradually became less formal. Marcus learned that beneath her tough exterior, Eliza was dealing with the pressures of being a woman in a male-dominated industry. Eliza discovered that Marcus had once been an architectural designer before family tragedy and a company bankruptcy had derailed his career. One night, as Marcus was cleaning near her office, Eliza was on the phone discussing her upcoming wedding to James Harrington, the son of a prominent business family. "Yes, the invitations have all been sent," she was saying, stress evident in her voice. "The Ritz-Carlton is confirmed for September 15th. After ending the call, she noticed Marcus and sighed heavily. "Wedding planning is more stressful than any corporate merger." Marcus smiled sympathetically. "I'm sure it will be beautiful. Sometimes I wish I could just invite people who actually care about me, not just business connections," she confessed, uncharacteristically vulnerable. Then, with a small laugh that didn't quite reach her eyes, she added, "You should come, Marcus. You'd probably be more genuine than half the guests on my fiancé's list." Marcus chuckled, recognizing it as the casual joke it was. "I'm sure I'd stand out in my cleaning uniform." They both laughed, and the moment passed. Or so Marcus thought. A week later, an elegant cream envelope was placed in his locker. Inside was a formal invitation to Eliza Montgomery and James Harrington's wedding. Marcus stared at it in disbelief, assuming it was some kind of mistake or perhaps a joke from his coworkers. When he next saw Eliza, he awkwardly brought up the invitation. "Ms. Montgomery, I think there's been a mistake. I received a wedding invitation." Eliza looked at him directly. "It's not a mistake, Marcus. I meant what I said. I'd like you to come." Marcus was stunned. "But, why?" "Because in all the conversations we've had, you've been more honest with me than people I've known for years," she replied simply. "And I think Lily might enjoy the cake." Marcus was torn. He couldn't afford a suit, let alone a wedding gift for one of the wealthiest women in the city. And what would her fiancé and guests think? But the genuine look in Eliza's eyes made it difficult to refuse. I'll think about it, he promised. At home that night, as he tucked Lily into bed, he mentioned the unusual invitation. A real princess wedding? Lily's eyes widened with excitement. Can we go, Daddy? Please. Seeing his daughter's enthusiasm, Marcus made up his mind. He would find a way to make it work, even if it meant dipping into their small emergency fund for appropriate attire. The day of the wedding arrived, and Marcus felt completely out of place as he and Lily approached the magnificent Ritz-Carlton. Lily wore her best dress, a second-hand blue frock that Marcus had carefully ironed, while he wore a suit borrowed from his neighbor, slightly too large but the best he could manage. At the entrance, the wedding coordinator checked their names against the guest list, her eyebrows rising slightly when she found them. Mr. Jenkins and guest. You're seated at table 19. As they entered the opulent ballroom, Marcus immediately regretted coming. Surrounded by celebrities, business moguls, and socialites, he felt like an imposter. Whispers and curious glances followed them as they made their way to their assigned table, which was surprisingly close to the main table. Daddy, everyone's looking at us, Lily whispered, suddenly shy. It's okay, sweetheart. We won't stay long, Marcus assured her, already planning their early exit. But before they could even sit down, James Harrington, the groom himself, approached them. Tall and distinguished in his custom tuxedo, he extended his hand to Marcus. You must be Marcus. Eliza told me about you. Marcus shook his hand nervously. Congratulations on your wedding, sir. We probably shouldn't have come. Nonsense, James interrupted with unexpected warmth. Eliza specifically asked that you be seated near us. She'll be thrilled you made it. Marcus was confused by the welcome, but before he could respond, the music changed, announcing the bride's arrival. Everyone stood as Eliza entered, radiant in a designer gown that probably cost more than Marcus's annual salary. Throughout the ceremony, Marcus couldn't help but notice how Eliza's eyes occasionally drifted to their table, a small smile playing on her lips when she saw them. It was as if their presence genuinely pleased her, though he couldn't understand why. During the reception, while Lily was enchanted by the elaborate dessert table, Eliza made her way to Marcus, her new husband beside her. You came, she said, genuine pleasure in her voice. Thank you for inviting us, Marcus replied. It's a beautiful wedding. There's something I've been wanting to discuss with you, Eliza said, her tone shifting to something more serious. James and I have been talking about a new position at Horizon, a director of community outreach and sustainable design. Given your background in architecture and your personal experience with economic hardship, I think you'd bring a unique perspective. Marcus stared at her, speechless. Ms. Montgomery, Eliza, she corrected gently. And before you say anything, this isn't charity. I've seen your resume in your employee file. You're overqualified for your current position, and we need someone who understands both design and real community needs. James nodded in agreement. Eliza told me about your ideas for affordable housing designs. We're launching a new foundation as part of our wedding celebration, and that's exactly the kind of project we want to support. Marcus felt overwhelmed. I don't know what to say. Say you'll come to my office on Monday to discuss the details, Eliza replied with a smile. The starting salary is $95,000, with benefits that include childcare assistance. Tears welled in Marcus's eyes as the reality of what this would mean for him and Lily sank in. A chance to use his education again, to provide properly for his daughter, to rebuild their lives. Why are you doing this? He finally asked. Eliza's expression softened. 3 years ago, I was in a similar position to you, not financially, but personally. I lost my sister in a car accident, the same one that left her daughter, my niece, in my care. Suddenly becoming a parent changed everything. James helped me through that time, and now we're raising my niece together. She glanced across the room to where a young girl about Lily's age was playing with other children. Sometimes people just need someone to see their potential and give them a chance. The revelation that the formidable CEO had experienced her own personal tragedy and parenting challenges created an unexpected bond. Marcus realized that beneath their different circumstances, they shared a common humanity. As the evening continued, Marcus watched as Lily made friends with Eliza's niece, the two girls giggling as they danced together. For the first time in years, he felt a weight lifting from his shoulders, not just because of the job offer, but because he no longer felt so alone in his struggles. The wedding that Marcus had been reluctant to attend became the turning point in his life. 6 months later, he was thriving in his new role at Horizon Enterprises, leading initiatives that combined his architectural expertise with genuine community impact. Lily was enrolled in a good school, and the constant financial stress that had defined their lives for years had finally eased. But perhaps the most unexpected outcome was the friendship that developed between Marcus and Eliza. What had begun as a casual joke, a CEO inviting the night cleaner to her wedding, had transformed into a meaningful connection based on mutual respect and understanding. On the 1-year anniversary of the wedding, Eliza and James invited Marcus and Lily to dinner at their home. As the children played in the garden, Eliza handed Marcus an envelope. "What's this?" he asked. "Open it," she encouraged. Inside was a deed to a small house in a safe neighborhood near Lily's school, along with a note that read, "Not a gift, but an investment opportunity. The foundation will front the down payment as part of our employee housing program. You'll pay a fair mortgage that goes back into funding similar opportunities for others." Marcus looked up, overwhelmed by emotion. "I don't know how to thank you." "You already have," Eliza replied. "Your work has helped 20 families find affordable housing this year alone. Sometimes all it takes is one person believing in another to create a ripple effect of change." As they sat there, watching their children play together, the daughter of a former night cleaner and the niece of a CEO, with no awareness of the social barriers that should have separated them, Marcus reflected on how a simple invitation had changed everything. Sometimes the most profound connections in life come from the most unexpected places. A casual joke, an impulsive invitation, a moment of seeing another person not for their position but for their humanity, these small acts can transform lives in ways we never anticipate. And as for Marcus and Lily, they finally had what they'd been missing since losing their wife and mother, not just financial security, but a sense of belonging and community. The wedding that Marcus had been so reluctant to attend had become the beginning of their new life. So the next time you hesitate to reach across social boundaries or doubt that one small gesture can make a difference, remember this story. Because sometimes, all it takes is one invitation to change everything. If this story touched your heart, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for more inspiring tales of human connection and unexpected kindness. Remember that behind every person, whether they're cleaning your office or running a company, there's a story worth knowing.